Kia ora Year 12. This is the first video I'm going to make this year that's looking at how we simplify algebraic fractions. I'm going to start with multiplication and division examples. So I'm going to go all the way back to Year 9 and we're going to look at fraction multiplication and division with numbers. And then we're going to move on to variables. So you need to have your pen and your maths book with you and be working through this with me to get the most out of this video. I'll probably do about 3 videos on this. Once you've finished this video, then the pages in the Walker book that match it are pages 36 to 37, and there are some great questions in there. The ones I've got in here are different though. Okay, so the first thing we need to remember is what's going on when we multiply two fractions together. So going all the way back to Year 9, you'll remember that we basically multiply the numerators and we multiply the denominators. So we get 8 divided by 63 for this first one. Now for the second one, there are 2 ways to do it. We can just multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. And here we'll get 36 divided by 14. But we have to simplify that. Okay, so we're looking for common factors, and the common factor that we've got here is 2. So we can simplify it down to 18 over 7. And that's going to be my final answer. It's fine to work like that, but it can be slow. So the other thing that we can do is when we've got multiplication, we can look to simplify the common factors before we times the top and times the bottom. So with this one here, we notice that we've got 4 and 2, which have got a common factor of 2. So we can divide through like this by 2 and then do our multiplication. And we get straight to 18 over 7. I know that many of you in the class are going to be more comfortable with that first approach, but it's good to know both of them. Now, number 3 is one that surprisingly trips lots of students up because they look at it and they go, oh, but the first one's not a fraction. But it's 5 wholes. So we can think of it as 5 divided by 1. And then we apply our usual rule. Right? So multiply the numerators, 35, and multiply the denominators, 1 3s are 3. Right, now I put one example in of what we do when we've got fraction division. So if I've got 5 divided by 7 over 3, we take the 5, we leave it, and instead of dividing, we multiply by the reciprocal. So we've got 5 over 1 times 3 over 7. That gives me 15 over 7. No common factors, I can't go any further. That's that one done. Okay, so dividing by a fraction, really important to remember that. It means multiplying by the reciprocal. On to the next few. So you might want at this point to pause the video and just try examples 5, 6, and 7 in your book and make sure you write the question and the answer. Okay, so let's look at number 5. I've got 5 ninths and I've got 2 sevenths. I've got no common factors floating around. So what do we do? Well, 5 2s are 10 and 9 7s are 63. Now, can I simplify this at all or not? Look at 10, its factors are 1 and 10, 2 and 5. 63 isn't even, so 2 doesn't go into it, and 5 doesn't go into it, neither does 10. So that one is done. The next one, we've got 4 ninths times 7 tenths. So if we look here, we've got a common factor of 2 in here. So we'll divide that through by 2, and we have 2 here and 5 down here. Multiplying through gives me 14 over 45. Let's just check that we haven't missed any common factors. So 14 has factors 1, 2, 7, and 14. And none of those, except for 1, go into 45. So we're done. Lastly, example 7 is a division. So it's 4 ninths times 10 sevenths. There are no common factors. So we multiply the numerators and we multiply the denominators. We get 40 over 63 and we pause and have a look. Can we simplify it? No, we can't. So we're finished. Okay, so that was a recap of Year 9, but I'm doing that on purpose because I know a lot of you find fraction work really hard. So I've set you the work on Dr. Frost Maths. It would be well worth your time to do a bit of revision on those. Now let's look at what we're getting to today, which is what we do when we've got variables in here as well as numbers. Well, basically, it's exactly the same process, not surprisingly. we multiply the numerators and we multiply the denominators, then we try to simplify. So I'm going to work through these three first. But again, pause the video and have a go at these yourselves first. So x times 3 gives me 3x, 7 times y gives me 7y. Now ask yourself, can I simplify the numbers? No. Can I simplify the variables? No, I can't. Right, next one, 4 lots of 3 over y. Same as before, 4 3s are 12, 1 times y is y. No simplifying here, so we're finished. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Well, multiplying the numerators gives me 28 ABC, and multiplying the denominators gives me 45 AC. Now this time we can simplify. We can't simplify the 28 over 45, so that's going to sit here. But we've got A divided by A, so that's just 1. We've got no B's except for the B here, but we've got C divided by C. So my final answer is 28B divided by 45. Right, 2 more for you to try, so pause the video and have a go. What we need to remember here is that we add the powers when the bases are the same. So we have x squared times x cubed gives me x to the power of 5 times y to the power of 6, right? Because this is y to the power of 1. And in the denominator, we've got 2 times 5, which is 10. There's no simplifying to do here, right? I've got no number simplification, and I've just got x's up here and y's up here. So that one's finished. Right, in the next one, we have 2ab squared divided by 20a cubed b to the power of 4. There's a lot of simplifying to do here. The 2 and the 20 simplify to give me 10 here, and this is going to be 1 here. I've got a here and a cubed here, so we have a squared in the denominator. I've got b to the power of 4 here and b squared here, so I've got b squared here. All that's left to do is to write in that 1 in the numerator, which comes from simplifying the 2 over 20 part. So that's my final answer there. Okay, we've got time to do some examples that you try, and I've stepped these up in terms of difficulty. So let's have a look here. Right, pause the video and work through those carefully. Okay, what do we have? Well, a divided by 4 over b gives me a times b over 4, which equals ab over 4. In this next example, I'm going to need quite a few lines of working. So the first step that I'm going to do is deal with this. 2 cubed is 8 times x to the power of 6 from this bit, divided by y. And now I'm dividing by this, so I multiply by the reciprocal, so times 10x over y to the power of 5. Let's now multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. We get 80 x to the power of 7, because this is x to the power of 1, and then I just add the powers, divided by y to the power of 6. I can't simplify that in the numbers, the x's or the y's, so that's that one done. Now with this next one, I've got x over y divided by a negative power. Let's rewrite the division first. It's x over y times 1 over 10xy to the power of negative 1. But we know that negative powers mean to take the reciprocal, or you guys think of it as flipping it from the numerator to the denominator and vice versa. So it's x over y times 10 over xy to the power of positive 1. That gives me 10x squared y divided by y, which simplifies to give me 10x squared. And we've got one left to do, which is this one here. Oh, don't know what's going on there. Let's have a look at this. Okay, 3b over 2a divided by a squared over 2b all to the power of 4 is equal to 3b over 2a divided by, let's see, well, this bit becomes a to the power of 8. The denominator becomes 16b to the power of 4. That then gives me 3b over 2a times 16b to the power of 4 over a to the power of 8. Cleaning that all up gives me 48b to the power of 5 over 2a to the power of 9, but I still have to simplify the numbers. That leaves me with 24b to the power of 5 over a to the power of 9. Okay, that's more than enough for one video, so I want you to go and do the Walker book. As I said at the start, the questions are on pages 36 to 37, and if you haven't got your Walker here today, there are some great questions in the feeder textbooks as well. Thanks for watching.